welcome to my channel. This is your Mercury Retrograde will he or she come back to me reading. I hope you had a good Valentine's Day. If not, well, I hope it wasn't terrible. If ever, I hope it was a happy Valentine's Day if you were by yourself, spoiling yourself, or hanging out with your friends and family. Okay, so let's get to it. Again, just a little for you guys who've never watched my other videos. The way I do readings is that I'm an intuitive tarot reader, so the tarot cards are more a concentration tool for me. So most of the time I use the pictures, and then of course the messages I get as I look at those pictures, and I usually lay it out kind of like in some sort of like storyboard. But sometimes I do use the actual meaning of the cards. Okay, so as you probably know, it's Mercury Retrograde. This is the first retrograde for the year 2020, and it's supposed to be the easiest one because it's entering during Pisces, and somehow there's like a Venus influence, so there's supposed to be some like sensual, pleasurable experiences involved with this this Mercury retrograde. So Pisces is known to be there for their good humor. They take things like a grain of salt. They don't dwell on things too much. They don't take things too seriously. A little immature sometimes, but so that's supposed to be the energy. So it's like a good starter for the year in terms of Mercury retrograde. I remember last year we had several retrogrades where there were planets, a whole bunch of them in retrograde, and even like a couple of eclipses and stuff. So it was a big mess last year. But okay, so Virgo, for the Virgo that is watching this, is the person you were thinking about going to come back to you during this Mercury retrograde? Well, the answer is no. Okay. Because they've got stuff going on. They have their own house of cards that's kind of like falling apart. They're experiencing Mercury retrograde, and it's not going to be an easy one for them. So they're quite distracted. That's what I'm getting. But on the bright side, I feel like during this retrograde, you're going to be okay. In fact, I think you're going to get recognized for whatever effort you've been doing lately, not only for yourself, but I feel professionally, and also I think being more appreciated by your family as well. I have to move fast because it's hot over the candles. Okay, and so this is my confirmation that I'm right about you having a relatively okay retrograde. You're going to have your ups and your downs. But the most important thing is that you keep your balance. All right. Try to. I'm being told to tell you, Virgo, to instead of saying what's wrong with this picture, when something's happening, you try to see, okay, what's right with this picture. I'm moving a little fast because it's really hot, so I'm gonna maybe keep my fingers down here for a little while, okay? You've been doing a lot of things over the past year, and this Mercury retrograde is not going to be void of any challenges. It's not going to be void. I feel like you're going to be really swamped with work, and you're going to be committed to the changes that you've made to yourself, to your lifestyle, to your vibration. Also because you just don't have the time or the energy to give all the other crap that comes up any attention. You just can't, because you don't have the time. So here you see, it's like, this is keep going. It's like almost like you're putting together this beautiful necklace, and all your hard work is coming together. Just keep stringing it along, just keep moving forward. It's actually, you're gonna get what I'm seeing here during this retrograde is like all that kind of abundance, and kind of like all that stuff that has always really been put on hold for you, kind of like throughout the year, because you're just, it's in your nature. You need to be busy. You're very good at taking care of people. You're very responsible. You keep your nose, you keep your head down and your nose down, and you just keep moving forward, and you just keep hustling. And what happens for you this retrograde is that, that fun pause is unpaused during this time. I hope you can see this. You know, you're going to be able to, you know, reap, you're going to be able to, how do you say it? You know, all the crops that you know, all the seeds that you planted and everything, you get to reap what you've sown over the past year. And even though you're busy, but you'll have some time for yourself and to really be able to really spoil yourself. You know, like I said, it's not going to be easy. You have a lot of stuff going on. You know, just like imagine if this was school, you have so many projects, so many things. You kind of have just kind of like a rhythm, kind of like just this hustling forward, moving forward, pulling the heavy load that you have, you know, nearly over the finish line, and you're really just going for it. And it's almost like you kind of are coming into yourself. You know, you're having this opportunity to really just see, wow, you know, the results of all the hard work and it really being able to pay off. And that feeling of, hey, I can, you know, everybody's all over the place. Everybody, it's a huge mess for a lot of people and all this stuff dealing. And kind of like, you're kind of like, hey, you know what? All this work that I've been doing on myself, all the sacrifices, you know, really prioritizing my career, my mental health, my self-care, and you know, it's like almost like you're starting to notice that, hey, I'm not an ugly duckling. I'm actually a peacock, you know, and my situation, yeah, it's hard, but it's, you know, better than most people, and it's actually quite good. But I do see that there is going to be some communication between you and another person. I don't feel that this is going to be that person that you were hoping to come back. I think it's going to be news about them, that this is going to derail you for a little bit. I really do. I do see it. And but it's kind of like the last of the stuff that you have to release. Okay? And so, I mean, just be aware of that. You might get just some news and, you know, you're going to react like a human being. You know, you can't be all together all the time, but it's like the last remnants of that time. Like it just had to come out. It's just like that last, you know, outburst and the last, I don't know, explosion of a volcano that's going to go dormant. Okay? And when you realize that, it's going to be, you know, really cause to celebrate. You're going to be celebrated, and you're really going to pull together with some people that you didn't expect to pull together with you during this retrograde. People who you find are on the same vibration. Maybe you didn't really notice it before, or maybe it's just being able to also, you know, since fun has been unpaused for you, this retrograde, you know, you get to spend time with your friends and hang out and actually get to enjoy. Like, okay, I'm having a tough day at work, I'm very busy, I'm keeping it together, and hey, you know what? I can go have drinks. It's some kind of balance in your life that has. That's like a confirmation of finally having balance back in your life. Like it's almost like a nice splash of cold water. So this is a retrograde that I think you're going to be one of the few people that are going to be okay, because you know what? Well done, Virgo. I mean, you've gone through some shit over the past couple of years. You've had a lot of humbling experiences. You had a lot of, you know, things that you've had to face about yourself that you don't want to face, because you're also very headstrong. And it just almost seems like, you know, a couple of months ago, you just made a decision to be like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to fight it anymore. I accept this part. I accept these things. I accept that chapter of my life is over. I accept I have to go forward. Yeah, it hurts. I cried a lot or whatever, but you know what? I'm sticking to my guns. I recognize this lesson. And this is really how you move into the next chapter of your life, because before you go into this new vibration and you start to exist there, you know, life gives you some lessons first, just to remind you, like, hey, practice test. Like, you remember this? And you're like, yep. I know this, I see the signs, and I'm, you know, acting accordingly. I'm being proactive about the situation. I'm avoiding those triggers and those people and even toxic relationships. So, I mean, of course you want this person, you know, to come back, because, you know, I mean, you had some time together. They're really important to you. But then at the same time, you're like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, he can't. And his house of cards is on fire. And you're not going to participate in that bullshit. Hi, Virgo. Sorry. I ran out of memory, so I had to skedaddle and fix that. So as I was saying, now if you're going to go on a trip and you've been planning this trip for a while, that's okay. You're going to be one of the few people who are going to have, you know, might have a, you know, a trip that doesn't have any problems. However, if there are any problems, what I do see is that the trip could be cut short. But if it's a vacation and, you know, it's supposed to be a short trip, then I don't feel there's going to be any problems. However, if you are leaving during this retrograde because you're relocating, chances are is that your plans to relocate to that place, you know, the length of time you're planning to stay there, it might not push you. So if you're moving to another country, I feel that after the couple of retrogrades, you're going to be back home or somewhere else. So that's the only downside to that. Anyway, so as I was saying, you know, this retrograde is going to be easier on you versus the other signs, because since you're always, you know, you're a busy bee and you really put a lot of things in place, you've really committed to change, and you actually have not had time to have drama. You haven't had time to not afford to stick to the changes that you've made, the positive changes you've made to your for yourself and your lifestyle. So it's going to be, you know, like fun was paused for you throughout the year, but it's not going to be paused. It's going to be unpaused during retrograde. So I hope you take advantage of that. And hey, you know, you knew this guy was not good for you, so him not turning up this retrograde is a good sign. It's a sign of, you know, the wind blowing forward. Anyway, I hope this reading resonated with you. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.